Well, there's a big deal which is coming in with respect to PB Fintech, and let's talk about that. Now, PB Health, which is the ambitious healthcare venture incubated by PB Fintech, Policy Bazaar's parent, and PB Health aims to create a streamlined insurance-linked healthcare network. Seamless, easy for the insured, has got some big funding, $218 million in total in this seed round. Silicon Valley's General Catalyst, which is a venture capital and investment giant with assets under management of over $30 billion, is coming into PB Health. PB Fintech is also putting in money along with other investors. Let's talk about this and get more details. Yashish Dahiya is with us, Chairman and Group CEO of PB Fintech. We also have Neeraj Arora, Managing Director at General Catalyst. Gentlemen, great to have both of you here. Thanks very much for joining us. And I should say congratulations, Yashish and Neeraj, Prashant, this side. Yashish, and that graphic will come up on your screen. So you are, PB Fintech is putting in about $62 million. Neeraj is putting in, General Catalyst is putting in about $50 million. And the rest is coming in from institutional investors. Is that the broad structure for our viewers?
Yeah, not 106 million, about 90 something million is coming from institutional investors. About 10 to 15 million, between 12 to 15 million is coming from individuals who got the permission to co-invest in this round. And that would include me, it would include Alok, it would include a few others. Okay,
got it. Got it. Now, so $218 million in, right?
Yes.
Neeraj, good morning. You know, on a lighter note, on a light, not a light. It's a serious question actually. Last time Yashish was on, and he wants to create something very different, right? And that's the mission. He's said it on the record. He said it to me many times that this is not about making money. This is actually trying to change how healthcare is delivered. And I mean, if he's successful, it'll be fantastic. But as an investor, Neeraj, and I asked Yashish this, how are investors going to come in? He said, well, they must be seeing something here. So I want to ask you, what are you seeing here? So go on, Neeraj.
Thanks for having me on the show, Prashant. First of all, obviously, we are really excited to partner with Yashish here. One of the biggest reasons for us to invest here is obviously Yashish and his team, right? What they have done with Policy Bazaar in the last 15 or so years is just incredible, right? And they've created a lot of shareholder value for everybody who is invested in Policy Bazaar, right? He's a fantastic entrepreneur. I think he has a big vision with PB Health, and we couldn't be more excited to partner with him on this mission.
Yashish, just to get the shareholding now out of the way, right? With this investment, what's the how is PB Health going to be held?
See, what you've seen is $218 million is the money coming in. And there is another $25 million of ESOP pool that we are creating. The ESOP pool is not being allocated on day one. It would be allocated over time to future management. But yeah, some part of it, about a third of that ESOP pool would get allocated on day one to existing management, which are the people who are running PB Health. And so that gives you a eventual valuation of $243 million. Now, if PB Fintech is investing 62, that gets PB Fintech something about $26 million. And of course, General Catalyst a little over $20 million, 20%.
Yeah.
So about 26% is PB Fintech, about 20% plus is General Catalyst, and a few other investors are coming in who will have various shareholdings. And yeah, that's the way it would be structured. And that is after the dilution of the entire ESOP pool.
Oh, okay. Yashish, hi, morning, and Neeraj, morning to you as well. So Yashish, just to understand, I recall our last conversation where you had mentioned that eventually you saw PB Fintech, the listed entities stake coming down to about 25-26%. So with this round, this deal happening, I guess it's come to that level as you're explaining.
Yes.
Here onwards, will you bring down PB Fintech's stake even more as more investors come on board? What's the roadmap from here onwards, say for the next 1 to 2 years? What are you thinking?
Nobody knows the roadmap. It will evolve.
Sure, but you're thinking. Yeah, you're thinking at this point.
Yeah. Personal view, and I must explain my personal view. My personal view was that PB Fintech, and that's the proposal I went to the board with, that PB Fintech should have taken about 11, 12%, 15% stake. That was the proposal I went to the board with. But the board decided that they wanted to maintain a minimum 26% stake, right? So eventually it's a board decision. I am the chairman of the board, but I don't decide just by myself. Right? So the board said, no, we want minimum 26%. Now, and that's why. So my thinking is PB Fintech is not, there will be enough value in this venture that it will be a privilege to invest. However, PB Fintech, and that's what we had in this round, right? We eventually had to request most investors to invest less than they were willing to invest, primarily because there was a bit of an oversupply.
Yeah, there was the book was oversubscribed.
And so what happens in this situation is PB Fintech may have the same situation again. But then again, the board might come back. So PB Fintech has a right to retain 26%.
And you
Yashish, so that's a really important point, and thank you very much for making this so clear for us and for your shareholders as well. So PB Fintech's board has taken a decision that it has a right to retain up to 26% in PB Healthcare. In future, if you have more investors coming in and there are more rounds happening, then PB Fintech perhaps would have to put in more money to retain stake at 26%? Would PB Fintech
26%, of course.
Yeah.
There is no obligation. At the same time, there is no obligation for PB Fintech to invest in the next one. So PB Fintech can clearly say, I don't want to invest any further.
Okay, let me just, I think last time you were on, Yashish, you clearly said that there's no plans as of now to invest more beyond this round. Of course, we can never say no. That's the right way to put it?
Absolutely. See, it's not eventually my decision. Even for this decision, I went to the board with a proposal. The board came back with a proposal. Then that goes to the shareholders. Okay. And the shareholders, I actually wasn't expecting such a strong support. I think more than 80% of the shareholders said we want to make the investment. So eventually, it's a public company which is governed by a board and of course takes shareholder approvals before doing these things.
Yeah.
So I can have my views. But those are not the only views, right?
No, absolutely. Neeraj, I mean, what have you have you seen this model globally? I mean, you're an investor around the world. Okay, what can you share with our viewers here? What could this scale up to, in your opinion, Neeraj?
So I think we've seen this model start to evolve in different parts of the world. I think here in the US, where we've been investing in healthcare for a very long time, I think a lot of healthcare delivery is moving to this model, actually. So if you are aware of this company called Kaiser Permanente, it's a very large healthcare system which has the whole integrated insurance and healthcare delivery all built into one, right? So I think as healthcare evolves in different parts of the world, I think one thing is very clear. You have to make sure the thesis of health assurance plays out. What that means is you make healthcare more affordable, accessible, and proactive, right? Traditionally, healthcare has always been more reactive, and that has been the case in India as well. But I think with the goal with PB Health and partnering with Yashish is to make sure that we can actually provide insurance and healthcare delivery to the middle class at a very affordable and in a proactive manner.
Yeah. Neeraj, this is a bet on Yashish, or this is a bet on the model, or it's a bit of both?
I think totally on both. Yashish is, obviously a legendary,
absolutely
operator and entrepreneur, and has created a lot of value for Policy Bazaar and PB Fintech. And when we came to us and he said, look, I want to build my next act in healthcare. We couldn't be more excited to work with him to take it to reality, actually.
Absolutely. Yashish, so the money's come in now. Tell us how this is going to be used. I believe you've already...
I want to actually focus more on what is it that we're trying to solve here. Because that's the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
Of course, money has come in about 1,800 odd crores. We all know the mathematics. The mathematics is 1,800 crores broadly gets you about 1,000 beds. That's the maths, right? Everybody knows that maths. But that's not what we are doing. We're not setting up another hospital chain. We are not here because we believe we can run the best hospital in the country. Of course, we'll run a good hospital, just like anybody else. However, we are here for a very specific purpose. There is a conflict today. When a middle-class person turns up at a hospital, the hospital does not always only... We have the best healthcare in the world, by the way. It is just not affordable for the middle class. The middle class has to be very precisely defined because a lot of us think we are middle class. We may have either moved out of it or we may not belong to it. The middle class is a person, as a family that is earning 50,000 rupees to 200,000 rupees in a month as a family. So if there are two people earning in the family, 1 lakh rupees each. That's what a middle class is, right? And we have 200, 300 million such people in our country. These people cannot afford to go to a hospital where the RPOP is the main target and the RPOP is 78,000 rupees or 75,000 rupees. Cannot afford it. And thinking that, insurance is somehow going to come as a magician and just pay is impossible. If the person can't afford it, then insurance also can't afford it. Today, I am speaking to every CEO in the insurance industry. You know what the reality is? The reality is after the third year, the claims ratios are upwards of 80%, 80% claims ratio, right? Now, at that level, and it's only the beginning. By the way, the same were 75% 1 year ago. They're going up very rapidly. And this is going to blow up.
Yashish, and as you said, I mean, I think if you're able to solve this, we've had long conversations about this, and I think I completely agree. It's something which needs to be done, and only an entrepreneur can do it. I mean, you are, I think, by heart an entrepreneur, and all the best of luck to you. But we are, we can have a longer conversation. So let me just ask you, Yashish, to be specific, you've already bought the first hospital, right? The first sort of land and assets.
We have bought the first asset. That is true. We completed the acquisition of the first asset on 30th of April.
Okay. And you're saying, and that's about 200 beds. You spent about 200 crores.
That should get us 200 beds. That should get us 200 beds.
And you're in the market for another, what? I mean, three to four hospitals?
Look, let me try to be definitive because I think people look for definitive answers.
Yeah.
I think by the time we are speaking this year, we will have 4 to 5 operating hospitals. And let's see, right? And I think mentally, we would have moved on from the setting up these 4 to 5, and we would mentally be thinking about where and how to set up the next 25 to 50.
So 4 to 5 hospitals by the end of this year, you're saying, Yashish?
No, I said by the same time this next year.
By the time, okay, in about a year's time, 4 to 5 hospitals.
Yeah, is the hope, right? That's what we are working towards. Operating hospitals.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm thinking we would be planning about the next stage, which is going to be the next 25 to 50 hospitals. See, at the end of it, we will become a hospital chain like any other in the country, just like any other large corporate hospital chain. However, with a different ethos, with a very different ethos.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. No, let me explain. This is a very important part. Very important. We will make more money if consumers use us less. And I think that is the part, that is the penny that is not dropping on people.
Yeah.
That listen, if today 6.5% of customers go to a hospital, if that comes down to 4%, we will become more profitable, not less profitable.
Got it.
And I think that key thing
is the difference.
And that's the difference, right? For me, I will not be driven by RPOP. I am being driven by net present value of customer. My P&L starts with the insurance policy premium.
Got it. Yashish, 1,000 beds by the same time next year?
No, I did not say 1,000.
You said you started by 1,000. So 800 to how many beds then?
I did
by these 5 hospitals.
Prashant,
how many
you're
beds?
a very good person, but don't ever put words in my mouth.
You said 1,000. You began by around 1,000 beds. That's how it came.
When I speak very specifically, and I don't mince words.
Okay. So how many beds?
4 to 5
Yashish?
hospitals next year.
Yeah.
By next year, it could be somewhere between 600 to 1,000 beds. You're absolutely right, but it is not 1,000. I did not say 1,000 beds will be set up by next year.
Okay. Fair enough. No, got that. So 600, 800 beds, 2 crore a bed, and that basically consumes the capital that you've raised, approximately, right?
Yes, you are about right. Again, you are putting words in my mouth.
No, we're talking in the ballpark. We're talking in the ballpark, broadly.
In the ballpark, you're about right. Please do appreciate, today I have more tech resources and product resources than hospital resources.
Yeah.
So there are other things that are going on. We are working, we are coming at this from a tech-first perspective. Now, a standard hospital would say, why do you need so much technology? Consumers deal with this kind of technology.
Got it.
Well, let me explain, right? I want to give a single app experience to a family. This is a family app, not an individual app, wherein from the time when you buy insurance to the point when you get your claims, or there is nothing called a bill or a claim, everything is happening under one app, right? And it doesn't matter which insurance company you buy the plan from. It does not matter which of our hospitals you go to. So all of that experience is also very powerful, and all the data that you're capturing through that and helping, what is the objective of capturing this data? To identify problems early. To identify this customer could have a heart illness coming up 5 years later. Instead of making money from his surgery, I will make more money, and this is the important part, I will make more money by preventing that surgery. Why will I make more money? Because that customer is already paying the insurance premium.
Got it.
So me and insurance get joined at the hip.
Yeah.
That is the key here.
No, and we look forward to that success. We've all faced it, Yashish, as you said.
I think that's the key, right?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
the key.
Absolutely.
When I started Policy Bazaar, a lot of people asked a lot of questions. But when I asked people, okay, their experiences were they had been missold policies. They had not understood policies. So information gap was much bigger than the industry believed.
Yes.
I think our conflict of interest. See, today when I go to a doctor and he says, listen, for your son, you can have this kind of treatment equipment or this kind of equipment.
Yashish, allow me to come in. We're running into market open. We promise to get you back on, and we will discuss this in greater detail. And I think this story needs to be told properly. Thank you very much, though, on joining us on an important day. Thank you very much, Neeraj. Thank you very much for joining us. It's good connecting with you as well.